What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Oh, okay, so let's get into it. So, right now we're going to talk about creating a trading business model, creating a trading strategy. Right. The reason why I don't like calling it a strategy is because strategy just entails kind of like what it seems like is just like, hey, how am I going to trade? It doesn't go over what you're gonna, how much you're gonna risk, all that stuff, right? You want to see it as a business model. If you see it as a business model, you're gonna take it more serious, and you're gonna like actually take time to think about the meticulous details that you need to follow in order to run it like a business, right? Most of you guys, including myself earlier, when I was, when I first started trading, didn't really have a strategy, right? We just said, oh yeah, I'm gonna make some money. I lost this one, I won this one, right? Horrible way to do it. What the fuck? What kind of shit is that, right? There's no business model. How are you gonna plan on succeeding, right? That's why only like 5 out of 100 people actually succeed in trading. So let's get to it. All right, so let's start off with the asset that you're gonna trade, right? So what asset will you trade? Is it a couple of them? Is it multiple of them? I only trade XRP. Here it is. This is the one that I trade. But you can trade many different assets: crypto, forex, stocks, gold, oil, gas. What asset are you going to trade? And I don't recommend you doing too many of them, unless you're doing like some sort of like long-term swing trading, where price takes a little bit longer to form, and it doesn't require too much attention to detail, right? Because when you're trading, say like on the weekly time frame, then shoot, price takes a lot longer to form, right? So therefore, that means that you have more time to focus on other assets, right? So let's say here on the weekly, shoot, I think we might be visiting this bottom support here, right? But that's going to take about a whole week, or it can take more. It can take a couple of weeks. Who knows? So since price takes a lot longer on higher time frames to fully form, then it gives you time to look at other assets. Okay. So what asset are you going to trade? I'd recommend only focusing on 1 to 2 until you master those, right? If you're going to do long-term trading, you can do more. If you do swing trading, you can do a bunch of different assets. But I do notice that when you do a bunch of different assets and you're not, and you don't stick to trading like a swing trader, then it's going to mess you up. You forget the language that you're trying to learn, right? It's like trying to do something, you stop doing it, you work on something else, and then all of a sudden you figure out how this one works. So mastery is what you're trying to accomplish. What style will you trade? Are you going to be a day trader, scalper, swing trader? How long are your trades going to last? Okay. So me personally, I do just New York session and the Asian session. Sometimes I do the Asian session, but it's a lot easier for me to trade zones. Me personally, zone, it's a lot easier to trade for me. See, this is when was this? This was like New York, all this right here. So I just kind of be able to get in and out, and I'm done for the day, than having to hold on to the trade and see if it's going to hit my take profit, if it's going to go to my stop loss, managing it. To me, managing the trade is a lot easier, right? Managing the trade is a lot easier when it's in one trading session. Okay. So that's why I personally chose to trade, to scalp and day trade. Okay. So what style are you going to trade? Are you going to day trade? Are you going to swing trade where it takes, a couple of days to a couple of weeks, so if not more, Or are you just going to go in and out? You're going to scalp, right? All that stuff. Choose which style you're going to use. Okay, so they're somewhat similar, but let's just keep it simple. Let's say Bitcoin. What trading sessions will you trade? Like what time? right? This is a fucking business. So if you're going to trade, it's good to well, actually this is only gonna apply to you if you were gonna do like day trading and stuff like that. But maybe you can also enter on swing trades during New York session, where you know price makes a certain move, right? Or where you see price go a certain way. But a lot of times for swing trading, you can kind of enter, whenever you really see the price hitting your entry point. But still recommend you do entries during sessions. That way you can get a better entry. So New York session is, New York Stock Exchange starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. US bond market, 8 a.m. London market starts at, I believe, 2 p.m., 2:30, somewhere around there. 2 p.m., 2 a.m. Eastern time. Asia starts 6 p.m. Eastern time. So these are times when the market moves in a direction, right? Where there's, this is when the train leaves at the train station. You want to hop on when the train leaves, okay? How do you get your trade idea analysis? How are you going to get your theory, your narrative, the idea, the trade that you're going to take? We can go over today's trade that I took this morning. So, I go on the daily. I see that, we're at support zone, right? We're at this level of support. I can see there's massive wicks. Okay, so hey, we may get some upward movement. All right, let's go. So then I trade the wicks. So I go on the 16-hour, and I see there was a massive wick right here. Okay, I break that down into 4 hour, right? So I'll go ahead here. First, I place my resistance on the 16-hour Right. So on the daily, on the daily time frame, I see where we're going. We're going mostly down still. We're still in a downtrend. So I'm looking for sales, right? On the 16-hour, I look for where's the resistance at. Okay. We can see the resistance started. It's right here. Here was support, turn to resistance now, right? Okay. So I'm going to go on the 4-hour and see, hey, so what's probably going to happen? Price is probably retesting. It's going here and it's retesting, right? So you have one more 4-hour bar, which I'm thinking this is going to happen. Price will retest either right here in this level or this level here, and then continue down. Okay. All right. That's how I'm getting my trade ideas. Okay. So then I go to the 1-hour. I plot my support and resistance on the 1-hour. Here's a 1-hour resistance. Here's a 16-hour resistance. So here are the zones, right? Okay, let's go on the 30-minute. So what I do is I go on the 15-minute here. Actually go on the smaller time frames. I got this trade idea on the 3-minute. I saw that we were going up. I saw that we were getting close to resistance. I saw that the price broke this trend line, meaning there's some exhaustion going, right? The price is getting exhausted. And here it is. Here with my trade idea. Price break. Entry was right here, which was a little bit higher here. And I basically took profits from here to here. I took my profits. It's all live. Right? So I saw that because I always know when price is going up and it breaks the channel for XRP, it creates a head and shoulders. Here's the shoulder, here's the head, and then it creates another shoulder, and then I enter on the right shoulder. Went in and out, took my profits there. Right, and I also knew that this was before New York opened. It was at 9:20, somewhere around here. Or was it? Yeah, see, so like 9:24. And at 9:30, price reversed. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. On the live video, I say, hey, you know what? New York session, they can go ahead and bring price up. So I ended up selling, was fully aware that New York session could bring it back up, which it did. I had my stop loss above here, and my stop, and then I had my take profit here, but I ended up taking profit here when I saw it, see it reversing. I took my profit, got out of the trade, right? So, okay. So that's how I got my trade analysis. I'm going from the top. So I went from the 16-hour, and I'm saying, hey, price can go over here. Here's the level of resistance, right? We still have sells going. We still have a sell narrative. So price can still go up here to retest and then go back down. But I also drew my other support zones. This is the hour support, okay? So I also knew that, hey, price can reject off this area, which it did a couple times, right? But I also knew that we were going to retest, right? So we should have an idea, hey, you know what? Price is probably going to continue up. So have that in the back of your head before the New York session starts. So if you're going to plan a trade, you can go in and out. See, this pattern always happens. Whenever price breaks on XRP, when you go down and price breaks and it breaks the channel, here's your impulse correction on your corrections. When price breaks a trend line or a channel, it'll create a head and shoulders, and I enter a short at the right shoulder as soon as I start seeing that going in. And then I also saw that we had a divergence here. That's what gave me my trade idea. Okay, we're still in a selling environment. I saw that it was getting close to resistance zone. I saw that it broke my trend line. I saw the divergence, boom, sell, right? I normally need 3 to 4 confirmations before I enter a trade. Okay, all right. You can call it top-down analysis. Okay, what time frames do you trade? I normally trade 15-minute, the 1 hour, but I use even smaller ones. I use a daily 16 and the 4 to get trade ideas, to get trade momentum. And then I use the smaller ones to do my entries. I can also go down to the 3-minute 1, 3-minute 5, minute 10. I can use those too, so I can see, because what tends to happen is when price is about to reverse, you'll see early signs in the smaller time frames. Okay, what confirmations will you use and how many do you need to execute? So I need 3 to 4 to execute. I need 3 to 4 things to show me that it's going to go my way before I enter a trade. So I need another trend. That's the most important one. Trend line break. And also on the 1 to 4 hour wicks. So I'll give you an example. Here's another trade that I took. I actually ended up getting out too early on it. So here we go. Here's a wick. Here's support, touch resistance. You have a 15-minute candle that closed above this wick. This next 15-minute candle, here's your buy. There it is. There's your buy. Buy as soon as you see. Why? Because we got momentum coming up. We have a candle closed above everything, and then you have a wick to fill. And as soon as you start seeing price come up here, as you can see, it didn't even go down anywhere. So as soon as you start seeing price come up, you can go and put your stop loss to entry. You can get in and out on a 15-minute trade here. How much will you risk per trade? Are you going to risk 1% per trade? Right? Are you going to risk 2% per trade? How much are you going to risk? Right? So you have to know, because hey, if you want to make, say if your goal, say if you have a $1,000 account, right? Or let's just say you have a $10,000 account, and your goal is to risk you're willing to risk 1% every single time you trade. That's $100. Okay. That's $100, meaning if price goes down and it's going to $100, you get out immediately. Okay. Because you're not willing to risk more than $100. And why is that important? Because guys, if you risk 1%, that means that the only way you lose your account is by basically almost getting close to 100 losses in a row. So you want to be able to know how much you're going to risk so you can see how many trades you have available. A lot of other reasons why too, but as you get better, you can start risking more. Okay. So how much are you going to risk per trade? Maybe you're going to risk 2.5%. Because maybe maybe your goal is to make 3 to 5% a day, and you're good at this, and you know how to go, and you have everything down, and your psychology is right. You stick to your plan. Shit, you can risk 2.5 to 5% per trade. I've seen people do that many times. And they're very successful at it, right? But most of the time, you want to start with 1%. What is your daily percentage rate or price range goal? So how much? See, for New York session, what's your price range goal? So how much percentage is this? This is a 2% move. When did New York happen? Let's see, let's go to New York. Yeah, you see you got a 2% move. So price will move about 1 to 2% on XRP. On other assets, it can do a lot more. On smaller coins, there's a lot more. Here's 5%, here's 9%. So on bigger assets, on assets that have more money, have more daily trading volume, their percentages are lower. But you can trade, if you know that on average, price moves 1 to 2% on the trading asset that you're working on, then you can plan your trades off that. You know, hey, look, I know that if it goes up 1%, that's it, I'm out. Or on average, that's how much I can pull out of the market. So what is your daily percentage price range goal? You can't expect to do this. You can't expect to be like, okay, in the New York session, I'm gonna trade from here to here, from this zone to this zone. Bro, that's 10% for XRP. XRP is like at a 35 billion a day trading volume around there. You know, that's very tough. Okay, that's not a, you know, maybe over the course of a day or two, maybe even a couple of days to a week, you know. But you have to understand that how much on average does the price move in the trading session or in the time period that you're looking to hold the trade for. And what is your win rate? How many times do you win on average? So look back at, you know, the past 3 months of your trades. Let's say if you traded 100 times, how many did you win? Did you win 45? Okay, cool. You got a 45% win rate. So then now all of a sudden, say if I got a 45% win rate and I'm winning, you know, and on average, I'm doing trades that make me 1% per trade, and shoot, that means I have a 45% win account growth over 100 trades. And also your risk management. Sorry about that, guys. Risk management. So I'll give you an example here. So what type of trades? So me, I do one-to-ones. Typically, I do one-to-ones, and I basically just I'll put my stop loss beneath. I'll put my stop loss beneath support. So on 1 hour, 4 hour support. So let's go here. So let's say, you know, here's a 4 hour support, right? So let's say I entered here. Let me use something else, guys. Let me go here. So let's say I got support right here. Say I got support right there. I'm going to put my stop loss. Let's say I see that. I'm going to put my stop loss beneath support, the candle below the support on the 4 hour. And let's say if it's a one-to-one, because let's say that, you know, my take profit is going to be at the previous zone, the previous support, the next support, which is right here, the next support zone, right? So, and as you can see, I mean, if this would have happened, this would have been a winning trade. But I got my stop loss here. Here's my risk management, right? So let's say if price goes beneath here, and every single time I see price start going say 3/4 of the way to my stop loss, then hey, maybe I just shut my trade off 100%, or maybe I take away 50% of my trade. That way, because like you're gonna lose. If you're doing 1-on-1s on 45% and you win 45 out of 100 times, that means that you're gonna lose 55 times. So that means you're at a loss, negative 10%. So you lost. You trading makes you lose money, right? 55 losses. So how do I get this so this loss is less? Because let's say my win rate's only 45%. How do I get it so that my win, so that, well, what you can do is as soon as you start seeing price go your way, you can start taking profit. You can say maybe you take 25% profit, 25% way in, and then you go here, you put your stop loss to break even, right? So then that way, if you hit down, boom, no matter what, if it ends up hitting your stop loss, you still made 25% of your trade. So technically, your trade would have been a loss out of those 55 that you lose. That 55, that would have been 54, right? You would have taken some money off the table, and that would not have been a lost trade. So risk management is going to be super important. Or maybe you just put you enter after that 1 hour, the 4 hour support green candle, and then maybe you just do 1 and 2s all the time. Meaning if you win 45 times, it means you win 45%, and 55 and you only risk so 0.5%, right? So this is 1%, this is 0.5%, right? Because 1 to 2, this means 1%. So what's half of 2? 1. What's half of 1 is 0.5. So maybe this right here is 0.5% of your account, and this is 1% of your account, right? Because it's twice as big. So that means that the 55 losses that you have are only 55 times 0.5, which ends up being, so half of 55, which ends up being what, 27, like 27.5. So that means you make 45% and you lose about 27%, which is a net of 18. So you end up doing 18, let's say you do 100 trades a month, which is like 3 a day. Every month you'll be increasing your account by 18%. Does that make sense? So risk management is super important. I take off half. Maybe take profit at 25%. Take profit and put stop loss to entry, right? So if you are always getting trades where they tend to go in profit and then they end up hitting your stop loss, you need to start taking profit at 25%, putting your stop loss to break even, if that tends to happen to you a lot. So look at your trades, see what tends to happen, and when does it just straight up go towards your fucking stop loss all the time? Then you're probably not, your analysis is off. You're not using the right analysis. Does the trade end up going 75% up to your take profit and then it goes down? That's horrible. That should not be happening, guys. You should be taking profit as it goes up. You should be moving your stop loss, right, guys? So that's pretty much it, guys. And that way you can figure out how much you're going to make, right? You should know how much you should be making. You should be forecasting how much you should based off your trading account. So hopefully this helps, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys have any questions, send them my way. Go to my channel. My email should be there on the About page. Also comment on this, right? Comment below. Follow me on Instagram. You can follow my backup page, which is CryptSmart, and then my regular page, which is CryptSmart News. Follow that page. We're out. You guys have an amazing, spectacular day. Thank you.